Welcome back to the channel. Glad you're with us again. If you watched our last video, you saw that we got the Bombcycle started and running. Today we're going to try to tune and time on it a little bit, tweak with it a little bit. You don't get everything set in one day, guys. And the first thing I'd like to point out is you can do all the tuning and tweaking you want, but if your linkage doesn't come all the way open, part throttle is never going to be your fastest. So I'm going to have my wife step inside the truck, and she's going to floor it. We're going to make sure this is coming all the way open and hitting on this pad right here. So we want to make sure that hits that. Also, I want to make sure that this isn't got too much slack when it's done, or I'm going to make sure it's not binding and keeping it from coming all the way open. So you got two adjustments on that. If it doesn't come open all the way, it could be your throttle, which it looks like I've got most of the slack taken out of on the throttle cable, and it could be your transmission linkage is binding because it's bottoming out on the kickdown before you have the throttle all the way open. So go ahead.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Is that all the way? Okay, so this right here is bottomed out on there, so it is wide open, and this is pinned all the way back, maybe too much. So I'm going to adjust that. Okay, let up. Okay, I just slid this little nut spacer here back. All right, go ahead and floor it. There we go. I got about, you can see the slack, and that's what I want. And that's wide open. We did check the oil this morning, because we started it for the first time yesterday. So we did check the oil this morning. There's no moisture on it. And you say, well, why would there be? Well, I don't know the history of this engine. Maybe it's got a cracked block, and maybe there's antifreeze getting inside the oil. In my case, it would be water. Also, the coolant is topped off, and it's a dry motor, and it's dry underneath the truck. So so far it's going really good. First thing I see is, it looks like my gas pipe is resting on top of the brass fitting there for my power brakes. That's not good. This is paper thin. Well, not quite. It's like a cereal box, and that won't get in there. I think this is resting on this, so we want our carburetor to be seated on the intake for sure. So I'm just gonna raise the carburetor up. And now that the carburetor, I just did it like that. I'm just hoping to lift up on it, take this brake booster hose off of there, and I'm just gonna try to turn this down further inside the intake is kind of what I'm gonna do. Figure if I can get a couple more turns out of it, that'll get it away from that pipe. I was able to get a full turn out of this bottom fitting and a little bit out of this top one. So that same piece of cardboard, or like cereal box, all kinds of room in there now. In fact, I'm going to fold it in half, and I can still got all kinds of room. So we don't have any interference here now. If I had a vacuum leak, I'm going to have to probably reset my idle and everything, so we'll see what goes on. Alternator that's making that real high, like ticky noise. I don't know what it is. We're gonna shoot for some timing. I really can't pay attention to the initial. I gotta go for total timing. The camera, the tripod's on the truck, so that's why it's shaking. And I'm gonna try to set the total timing at, I don't know, 35, 36 for a starter. So, and then the initial will just have to be what it is, because I'm not pulling the distributor out to weld up slots or anything like that. So let me see what I got. So we'll have to back it off a little bit. I got 42 degrees right there total, so we're going to pull about 7 degrees out just for a starter. I bumped the timing back just a smidge, so we'll see where we are and go from there. I left the distributor snug, but enough that I can turn it, so hopefully we get it here in a second. That was 36 degrees. I guess I'll just start there. So we pulled 6 degrees out by my guess and checked it, and it's at 36 now. Full advancement's at 36 degrees, and I didn't even look to see where the initial is. At this point, it won't matter. We'll start it up and see where the initial is now, and we'll make sure the total stayed. It's at 36 and looks like it's at about 16, so just what my eyeballs see. Looks like it's about 16 degrees initial and about 36 full advance. That'd be about right. A factory distributor would have about 20 degrees of mechanical advancement. We're not running a vacuum advance on it. So I don't know when it's all in. I do know that this is the distributor I did in some videos back, and it doesn't have the heavy spring in there, so it gets its total advancement. I don't know what RPM, but it's fairly quick. So we'll start with 36 and 16, and really all I can do right now is set the total and let the initial fall where it is. Boy, it seems to be running super good right now. Just bumped the key and it's off right now. Jetting will be a whole nother ball game for me. I'm just trying to get it close so we can go out of town and run some tests, and I don't have to worry about anything, you know, being way off or bad. I don't know why this alternator is ticking. Sounds like one of those helicopters got inside there, but you think it wore off by now. It just drives me nuts. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. If it freezes up, it'll smoke my belt. That would make a good day. I sprayed some WD-40 inside the alternator, and all that clicking went away. Anyways, I think it's running good enough to go out and see how it drives and test on it a little bit. Just gonna go out and test a little bit. They chip sealed all my roads around here, so there might be a little bit of loose gravel. I really wanted to see if it's gonna hook up. That's just as important of how the 360 perform. But we can just kind of just see a little bit. Huh? Did all right there. Holy cow, it's got a lot more than the 318 had. Goodness. Oh boy, that converter flashes right up. hook it up, it doesn't matter how much power you have. If it doesn't hook, spinning is not winning. Back there, I think at a prep track it's going to hook, which is really amazing. So the wrap-up assessment, my wrap-up assessment, is we had one major win and make that 2 major wins. I really confident we got a good engine here. Oil pressure is good, no unnecessary noises, no lifter ticking, nothing. That's probably the biggest thing that we had in front of us. My second assessment is the converter I put in here. I really like how it's working. I mean, it flashes right up there. I don't want any more converter, because the third thing that I have that worked out in our favor is traction. When I got off the chip seal and got on regular pavement, turned the tires a little bit, stopped and went again, it was very manageable out there. So that means on a prep track, I should be able to launch hard, which is really amazing. It means I added a lot of power and torque plus a converter. The 318 couldn't even so much as, on the old torque converter, couldn't even so much as get a chirp with these drag radials on, no matter how you did it. This is manageable, but I think on a prep track I'll be able to come out of the hole pretty hard. As far as performance, guys, it's a scooter. It's somebody right away in the comment, what do you think? What do you guess your ET? I don't like to let my mouth get in front of the nose of my car. That's a bad thing. So I'll just say it this way. It's a whole lot faster than the 318 and the old converter that was in here. So really happy. Guys, this is a 3 thumbs up. Everything was a win on this so far. So, till next time, hopefully our next move from here is take it to a test and tune. We need the weather to cooperate, need the schedules to cooperate. We're barreling down at the end of the year, guys. It's got to happen quick. Till next time, thanks for tuning in.